We are getting Easter this coming Sunday, and the lesson is for this week. Love lives, and as you know, we've been doing Embrace, which is all about love this whole year, and this is going to be no different. Other than the fact that it's set up structurally a lot different, but what I mean is the theme of love being Jesus. Um, that's who we're going to talk about this week, and the fact that he rose from the grave. And I love the way this lesson's been set up because I think it's going to be really, really interactive, and the students can really get into this. It's more than just us sitting and giving a lecture and then expecting them to answer some questions. They're the ones that's going to have to do the work, and they're the ones that are going to present the evidence. And so as we get into the lesson today, pretty much the premise of the lesson is that you're going to divide the class into two law firms. Just split them half and half. And if you get in the room in time on Sunday morning, I would suggest even that you would set up the tables across from each other. So you've pitted two sides against the other because they both want to be hired by a defendant who has been charged with falsely claiming that Jesus rose from the dead. And so what they're doing is they're trying to vie for employment here. And the way they're gonna get the job is by producing enough evidence that they will convince the defendant that they would be able to adequately defend them in a court of law. And so this defendant has been charged, as I said, with falsely claiming that Jesus rose from the dead. And the prosecuting attorney's evidence is from Matthew 28:11 through 15. Let me get that for you real quick and read it to you. Okay, so this Matthew 28 scripture is starting in verse 11. While they were going, behold, some of the guard went into the city and told the chief priests all that had taken place. And when they had assembled with the elders and taken counsel, they gave a sufficient sum of money to the soldiers and said, "Tell people his disciples came by night and stole him away while we were asleep. And if this comes to the governor's ears, we will satisfy him and keep you out of trouble." So they took the money and did as they were directed. And this story has been spread among the Jews to this day. So what has happened is that the guards have claimed that the disciples have come and stolen the body, and so that's what the prosecutors. That's why they are prosecuting the defendant, is because they think that the defendant is falsely claiming that Jesus rose from the dead whenever the guards have testified that they came and stole the body. And so our class needs to be the ones to defend them. And so the defense attorneys, the pupils in your class, are going to go through the four gospel accounts and gather evidence or testimony to defend these disciples that claim that Jesus rose from the dead. And so you've got the passages listed there, just their references. Also, at the end of the lesson, you've got the actual passages that they'll be looking through. Now, I would rather they look them up in the Bible rather than just us handing these pages out to them. I'd rather them actually dig and do the work to get in the scriptures and find it. And so let's do that. Let's not give out the papers to them. But for us, what we've done is listed the evidence that is found in these different passages. And so after they take time, I mean, they're going to have to give them several minutes to do this, maybe 15 or 20 minutes to go through those scripture passages together and find all of the evidence that they can find to support their claim and be able to defend the disciples. After they've taken the time to go through all these scriptures and find their evidence, allow them, each group, to get up and present the evidence that they've found. And I would encourage you to even have them do this in a dramatic, like, courtroom way. Don't just let them get up and say, you know, they ate breakfast. The beloved disciple John recognized Jesus as the Lord. So, like, don't let them get up there. Like, if they're going to be a defense attorney, like, they're going to show some emotion about this. They're going to get up and get in somebody's face, and they're going to do those kind of things so that they really present a good argument. Some of these kids may be on speech and debate clubs at school, and if so, like, they're probably going to be your best ones. But at any rate, have them get up and do that. And then at the end, we've got some study questions. Well, actually, award them something. Like if you can grab something at the store, it's suggested here that you get some Swedish fish, like they ate breakfast with Jesus. The fish they ate with Jesus on the beach. But at any rate, get whatever you'd like. It might be easier just to find some Easter candy at the store or whatever. But give the winning team some candy or some kind of award. But at any rate, we've got discussion questions after this. How has this study increased your knowledge of the evidence of Jesus' resurrection? What has been the most meaningful part of these scriptures to you today? Or in other words, cite some of the scriptures that have stirred your heart to worship the living God. And then the third one is, who this week will you tell about the eyewitness testimony of the resurrection of Jesus? And so, like I said at the beginning, I think this is going to be a really fun, interactive class this week. And I think it can be one that will drive home the evidence for them, but, put them into the story as well. And so, if you have any questions about this week's lesson, give me a holler. But I'm looking forward to it. Just want to encourage you in one last thing, that today is Good Friday, and it can be a pretty impactful day if we will just take the time, rather than just using this as a vacation day to do other things. If you'll sit and think about the sacrifice of Christ today, the way that Jesus suffered, the way that he was tortured, all of the things that should have been ours, he took on himself. And just the immense amount of love that it would take for him to do that for us. And just think about the glory that comes on Sunday. So, anyway, like I said, if you have any questions about this, please give me a holler before then. But enjoy your weekend. Don't use it as just another vacation weekend, but use it as a time to think about Christ and the gift of grace. See y'all Sunday.